You know, when you have darker skin, it can be challenging to find makeup that works well with your complexion. So here with tips for creating a flawless base on melanated skin, Shobana Lakkavally joins us. You've been doing this for a while.
Yeah.
You know what's up. So we're starting to see more inclusive makeup shades, but why are we still having trouble matching, foundation matching?
Because the rules of engagement haven't changed yet. We have to unlearn how we traditionally look for makeup, how we apply makeup, how we translate, you know, the products that we see in the colors onto our skin tone. We have to understand it a little bit better. And I've been doing this now for about like 15 years.
Wow.
I can easily spend like 45 minutes on someone's face because we're made up of so many different skin tones, right?
Wow.
Yeah, so I really just want to show you how to create that flawless, gorgeous finish. That's not ashy, that's not cakey.
Yeah.
Because online we see all this effortless beauty with just like one color, but that doesn't work for everybody.
Yeah, and it's usually not that effortless, right?
Yes, exactly.
Am I right?
Let's be real, let's be real.
So by a show of hands for the audience, do you struggle with shade matching your makeup? And I mean all the colors, because so do I. So do I. I'm still getting it wrong at this big, big age. So let's bring in your model, Shamiza.
Yes.
Come on in. And we're going to talk about foundation application.
Yes.
Where do you want to start?
Okay, well, I want to start with, we did kind of some of the things that people traditionally do. So on the right side, right over here, left side, guys, left side.
And I was going along with it because I do not know the difference. Okay,
I
on
used
the left
to before
side,
having kids,
right?
now I don't. Yeah, and so we actually color match to the center of our face because we're traditionally taught to match one shade to one area, right? But what you can see as we moved out, it gets a little bit ashy because actually her skin is made of various tones, right?
Yes.
Her center is a little bit lighter, her perimeter of her face is a little bit darker. So what I want you to start thinking about is using 2 or more shades, all right? We use like 10 different skincare products and 5 different lipsticks of the same shade, right? What's the difference? So what I'm gonna show you on this side is I'm gonna actually go in with that center color, which is NC42 by MAC. It's the Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. It comes in like 60 different shades.
Nice.
And it's
Mac's always been a trailblazer when it comes to different shades.
For all skin tones, because their pigment is rich. And so I'm just applying this on the center of the face. And as I'm applying this on the center of the face, I'm moving out. And what you'll notice as I move out, all of a sudden, it'll start getting a little bit ashy. And that's when you know, I have to switch up the color.
Right.
So what we did behind the scenes, this is something you do at the store, is we actually went in with a darker color because the lighter color was no longer working. So now I'm changing up the complete color. Now I'm using something that's absolutely more orange, more darker, right?
Yeah.
And it's actually a different formulation. It's more cream-based. And that's cool. So when you actually have 2 different foundation colors, you can change up the formulations. And look at how, just turn this way a little bit, how beautifully this is covering up her blemishes, the discoloration, and that's the beauty of using 2 different shades, is that you actually get coverage, neutralization of pigment, and a natural highlight and contour. You're doing so much.
So if this is the way your skin naturally looks, it's going to make sense to use various colors for your cover-up.
Exactly.
Are you blending the 2 at all?
You know what? That's a great question. So as I'm blending down, you want to make sure it blends into the neck, and I'm going to just blend in this way. You're not going to go over as much, but you are going to blend in a little bit because you don't want harsh lines.
That's flawless.
Yeah, right? It looks really, really gorgeous. And you know what? If you're a little bit, if you're older, like my mom, she's like, no makeup, I only want natural, I hate it all. I'm like, great, I'm a makeup artist.
Awesome, Mommy.
Awesome, Mom, thanks. But you know what she loves? She loves powder foundations.
Oh, she does.
And I know we have this idea that powders are bad, but not for everybody. And so MAC has these Studio Fix powder foundations. They're classic. And because they have pigmentation, they actually look really, really natural. So don't rule anything out because we're relearning how we do makeup. Try it all. I feel like that's the most important thing.
Beautiful. Okay, so let's talk about disguising dark areas in the skin.
Yes.
We all have them, or most of us have them, right?
Yes, yes. So I do. I definitely have under eye circles, discoloration around the chin.
Yeah.
And so I feel like what we're doing wrong is we look for those easy products, like, oh, just use light reflecting products, you know, just get rid of everything. And so we actually use that on this side of her face, and you can see that it still shows a little bit of gray. Right? It still shows a lot of gray.
And we don't want gray.
No.
So when she says gray, she's talking ash.
I'm talking ashy. I'm talking ash.
We all know what that means.
Exactly.
We're
we just
not
want to look like our skin, right? And neutralize any kind of discoloration. No ash. And so what I want you to think about doing is figuring out you know, we talked about color correctors,
Yeah.
which are great for some people. They don't work for everybody. But what if I told you you can actually have a concealer that brightens and corrects at the same time?
Well, I would say,
Yes,
please,
right?
sold.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
So NARS is a fantastic brand. It has a product called a Radiant Creamy Concealer. There's
Okay.
30 shades.
Yeah.
What's amazing is the pigment. It corrects as well as conceals. And when you
Okay.
go online, they actually will show you colors to use for your blemishes, which can be very different than the colors to use under your eyes.
Very
okay?
interesting, because these look very similar in shade, but
Exactly.
they are very different, apparently,
Look.
when you look at them actually on someone's skin.
Exactly.
So if you take a look over here, Shobana's kind of swatched them out for you, and they look incredibly different on the skin. So you really have to be thinking about what you're looking for, the formulation you're looking for.
Exactly. You really need to think about the formulation you're looking for, and you actually just have to try it on. So on this eye, I'm actually going to go in with this concealer, and I'm going to blend it in. And the key here for under eyes, if you don't want it to crease, is let it sit for a bit. I'm going to use the same color around here and around the chin.
Yeah.
Now, in a world where we would have more time to do the segment, I would let it sit for a little bit. We can't do that today.
Yeah.
So I'm going to blend that out a little bit. And you need to make sure you use the right brush. Don't use the wrong brush. I used one with like a lighter concealer. And look at the coverage here.
That looks so good.
Yes.
And so you're looking not necessarily for a one-size-fits-all
No,
answer.
there
and
is
that's
no
sort of what we've
one-fit-size.
been sold.
Exactly.
Okay.
Look
You
for-
got to mix it up.
Yeah, and you know, social media is great for that. There's lots of different ideas out there.
Right, absolutely.
And when you're applying this under eye, don't take it all the way to the top. Use your under eye darkness to create a natural smoky eye.
Oh, I like
now you don't have
that.
to go in with your eyeshadow, right?
Nice, yeah.
So
use those bags for
use those
for our
bags.
own
Yeah.
advantages.
Exactly.
Now, the last thing you say is we need to rethink the way we set our makeup.
Yes. So it's a
What are we doing
puzzle.
wrong?
I feel like it's a puzzle, right?
Okay.
So we have this beautiful kind of base.
Yeah.
And now if we add the wrong color, I added a little bit of like a white setting powder, which we often see.
Yes.
Again, you get that ash. Sometimes if you go too dark, especially on fairer skin tones, it goes maroon. Or, you know,
Right.
it doesn't sit well. So you want to maintain the integrity of your makeup.
Okay.
So Fenty has a beautiful line of the Pro Filter Instant Retouching. It's like 8 different shades. I'm going to use a yellow base for
Okay.
Shamisa. And can I just look at this?
Very
Look at how
nice.
gorgeous that looks.
Yeah.
It just blends in beautifully. And you know, if you really want your makeup not to look cakey and ashy, and again, I would normally spend 45 minutes doing this. We're doing this really, really fast.
For sure.
Use a setting powder, a setting spray at the end.
Yes.
It makes everything melt together.
Oh,
Okay?
beautiful.
Yes.
Very nice. I love this idea of looking for the color that works for you, everything from concealing to setting. So
Exactly.
Shobana, great lesson there.
Thank you.
And Shamisa, you look fantastic.